Senator Heller.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, and look forward to the continuation of this particular hearing. Mr. Secretary, thank you for taking time. I want to just follow up briefly on what my colleague from South Dakota's question was. Obviously, being from Nevada, we have similar concerns and problems with some of these small family farms and ranches. But in my state, there's over 230,000 small businesses. And it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that generally no tax would be due on small family-owned businesses until sold. Can you clarify to me what that business threshold would be that defines what a small business is?
So, Senator, there is a provision in our proposal that would exempt very small business, truly small businesses.
What is that threshold?
The exemption, I believe, is $1 million
It's $1 million.
in the proposal, and it was designed to ease the burden on family businesses, mom and pop stores. I think that for larger businesses that are still medium sized, the 15-year provision that I described for a working business is a way to take the incidence of the stepped-up basis and spread it over a very long period of time, which we think is a way of addressing the needs of a larger small business.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, thank you. I don't believe people are always right or always wrong, for that matter. And when the president's right, I support him. And when he's wrong, I don't. But you made some comments in your opening statement that I appreciate, and that's the efforts for infrastructure and the priority for this administration. Obviously, I can care quite a bit about infrastructure. I'm on the working group with my colleague, Senator Bennett. Look forward to moving forward on tax reform. I, like the chairman, believe that our tax code is too costly, too complex, and too burdensome. But I still would really like to tackle this issue on infrastructure. I think that's good for the state of Nevada. We bring more people in to portions of our state, and I think it's a core function of this government. I'm sure that you're aware of Chairman Dave Camps, former Ways and Means Chairman, as he introduced a tax reform discussion draft, and one of the proposals that he had was a repatriation proposal that was imposed of two rates, one for cash and one for assets. Was there any reason why the administration didn't look at this and impose two different rates?
Well, Senator, there are a lot of similarities between the approach that we have and the approach that former Chairman Camp had. We think that the rates we have put in our international proposals make good sense. We have two rates. One would be a permanent rate of 19%, and the other would be what we call a toll charge for earnings that have built up over years, and that would be 14%. In each case, there'd be a credit for taxes paid overseas, calculated in an appropriate way. And we think that it would create a tax burden that would be very reasonable and would make it attractive for businesses to bring their taxes home.
How were those rates decided?
Excuse me?
How were the rates decided?
Well, the 14% rate is half of our, we've proposed a 28% rate, and we set the toll charge at half of it, 14%. I don't want to overstate the scientific nature of it. Congressman Camp, when he put his proposal in, had a rate of 8.5%. There's rationales for a number of different levels. The 19% number, was in the zone of where we think it should be, and it was at a level that was revenue neutral in our proposal. So I think that if you look at the kind of structure of our proposal and the structure of the Camp proposal, it shows that there's a lot of room to work together. And the important thing about the toll charge, with your interest in infrastructure, is that we use it to pay for a 6-year reauthorization with a higher level for our surface transportation program. We think that would be enormously important. If that toll charge were used for anything other than a one-time expenditure, for example, if it was used to lower rates permanently, it would not be revenue neutral over time. So we think that it's a perfect combination of things that are important to American business and the future of our economy.
One quick question, because my time's running out. Would the administration support voluntary repatriation to fund infrastructure?
Well, you know, the experience in 2004 with a one-time voluntary repatriation holiday was not very good. It turns out to be a bad incentive because after a repatriation holiday, you start to build up reserve, overseas with businesses waiting for the next holiday. Secondly, we didn't see the reinvestment come from it. What we've proposed, we think, is the right way to do it, to have a transition to a new system where going forward, businesses will bring their earnings home and they'll make their investments based on where they're most economical, not where the tax advantage is greatest.
Mr. Secretary, thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Senator.
Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Heller.